decision.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing with the gifts and given is you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Usually.
The way the deck works is you have no good decisions.
Right. Couldn't quite see what the cards were from the top.
Lucas off your guys' response. Draw.
Nice play. Frank activates to look at 3 cards ability, and in response, flips the top onto the top to draw a card. This allows him to actually get 1 card deeper into his library. He gets the draw, and now he gets to see a fresh card that had been 4th down before he puts the top in.
And that 4th card was the land.
And it was the land that he needed? No, he drew the land off the top, flip top. Because he doesn't have the option to draw the 4th card down.
Right.
He just had the option to set it up for next turn. So he flipped the top to get land number 8. Plays it. He's all set up to clear the board next turn. Ding attacks with those 3 tokens. That'll drop Karsten to 14. Ding does have up Mana Leak mana. Doesn't actually have one. Instead he has Kaiga and Arashi. So Karsten, I'm sure, is going to play around the potential of Mana Leak here. Finding that land lets him do that. Still, this is why I would have Vengeanced out Yosei last turn instead of doing the top shenanigans. He did succeed in finding land number 8. I mean, that was what he was doing, I think, by going with the top plan. And it worked.
What do you think's going through these players' heads at this moment? put us in their shoes.
I think Frank is just he knows what all the right plays are. He's trying to make sure he makes the absolute optimal play. So I think he's a very logical thinker. Like he's going to walk down each path and say, all right, if I do this, then this happens, then this happens, and this happens. It's almost like the look-ahead reasoning of a chess master, right? He keeps going down these paths and figuring out which one looks better, going down this decision tree and seeing which decision puts him in the best position 3 turns from now.
And really, at this point, every decision you make, even tapping your mana, can be critical.
Potentially. I mean, the top, he's got expensive spells, and he's got a top that is fairly greedy in terms of mana. Like here, he's not even going to get to replay his top. He's going to leave up 4 mana instead.
Well, the top might be...
Yeah, we're not sure exactly where the triple top is. But I mean, each of those little subtle decisions probably don't matter, but maybe they will. Ding, meanwhile, is sort of... It's all out of his control. He's just hoping that Frank doesn't have the tools he needs. I mean, he's probably happy to survive those 2 Yosei turns, and all he's going to do is lose his board.
Yeah, he looked a little surprised that he was getting untapped there without...
He knows he gave Frank the Vengeance. Frank declined to use it here, too, right? He could have used it here. He could have gone sack Kagamaru and Goryo's Vengeance at Yosei, but he chose not to.
Decided to wait for Ding's draw step.
Sack Kagamaru?
Yes.
Sure. May as well force him to commit to what he's doing with his draw step and the top in play before you give him any information. I think Ding knew Kagamaru was getting sacked, but I mean, it's still the correct play, right? Ding's top reveals a naturalize, a top, and a land. Nothing relevant. Those naturalizes are a big part of the story, right? Karsten, I haven't seen a greater good in a single sideboarded game. Have you?
No, I did.
But Ding has had naturalizes the whole time.
Well, he's worried about defense grid.
Is he? There's only 1, right?
It's 4.
Oh, it's 4 defense grids.
And then 1 of everything else on the sideboard.
But that's, I don't know. I think Ding is supposed to be aggressive here. You know, just enough permission to tempo him out. I think the fact that Ding has filled his deck with those naturalizes is a real credit to Frank Karsten. He took out the greater goods.
Yeah.
His opponent has got these mediocre naturalizes that just keep junking up his hand, junking up the top of his library when he digs with the top. And that's a big reason why Karsten has been able to maneuver this position into one where I think he has an advantage. He is now facing down a North Tree, but we know that his hand has Moloku, Vengeance. He still has plenty of options.
This all comes back to Leon's decision to not Cranial Extract in that long first game,
Second game.
in the second game, where he was not going to win, but
Sure.
he could have taken some information away from the match.
That's a good point.
So maybe those naturalizers wouldn't be there. Maybe that's a card he needs on the top of his deck.
That's a good point. What are his other options in his sideboard?
He's got 4 Threads of Disloyalty. He's got the Jushi Apprentices that are in. He's got the Arashis that are in. He's got the Cranial Extractions are in. So it's more what he might have left in.
Yeah, what did he take out for those naturalizers? That's the real question.
Well, he's obviously taken out Azumazawa's Jittes. So we have not seen those, and I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
The matchup. And he may have taken out some Llanowar. I mean, he brought a lot of stuff in, right? Brought in 3.
Yeah, taking a Llanowar Elf sounds terrible. That's what happened.
Hanakami splicing Glorious Vengeance on Gagemaru.
Wow. So Karsten is getting back his Hanakami and splicing Agorio's Vengeance on top of, is that the Death Denied? I think on top of Death Denied.
No, I think that's the Soulless Revival.
There's my graveyard.
So he winds up with Kagamaru in play, enough cards to kill North Tree, and he gets the Hanakami so he can keep the engine. Yeah, Ding sees that North Tree's going down anyway, may as well block with it. Not take any damage. Well, Karsten's Gifts deck, it's not super obvious exactly what you're supposed to be recursing with Hanakami and how all the splice shenanigans work out, but Frank knows what all his options are, and he's happy just to recurse Goryo's Vengeance, apparently.
I mean, looking at his hand, that's
Seems like plenty.
seems like even one counterspell is not going to be enough here for Ding.
No, I don't think so.
He might need to resolve an extraction here to get out of this.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what Ding is hoping to come up with. Diggs. I didn't see it.
We'll have to ask Frank Karsten what's on the top of Ding's deck.
Ha! He's got to get some information, right? Ding's got to make a play that he can read first.
Well, I mean, he looked at his hand and looked at the top 3 cards and threw it down on top of his deck pretty quickly. I'm sure that's some information.
He reshuffled.
Doesn't seem like it was,
That's all the information Karsten needs to read him, you think?
I don't know. It didn't seem like there was anything, very useful.
Kega and Arashi in Ding Leon's deck, but Karsten has got full-on Goryo's Vengeance recursion up and running. Hanakami to go get back to Soulless Revival.
Oh, here it is. We'll find out what that top card was.
Yeah, he shuffled it in a hurry. It was Extraction.
It was Cranial Extraction.
Ooh.
Well, I certainly can't read Ding.
He knew what he was looking for. He found it. It went straight to the top.
Does anyone have a pen that still works best?
Wow, what do you extract for?
I guess you extracted the Goryo's Vengeance?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Frank says okay. Yeah, I think I would get Goryo's Vengeance here. I mean, he needs that. It busts up the engine, right? I guess Soulless Revival would also bust up the engine. Except we know Frank also has Death Denied in the scene.
Right.
Glorious Vengeance.
Yeah, Goryo's Vengeance. I think that's the right card.
And he's going to see a pretty
Saucy hand.
pretty saucy hand here with another Gifts.
Gifts and
Death
Moloku
Denied
and Death Denied. Wow. Gets to look at the deck. Gets to see no greater goods. Gets to see, what am I doing with these this naturalize in my hand? I
no defense
can
grids.
throw off a top, can't I? There's not a naturalized target in that entire deck.
If he wanted to make use of his naturalize, he could have tried to naturalize the top and had it flip up and extract those.
Oh, funny.
It's about the only way he was going to get some good value out of that naturalize. I think the Goryo's Vengeance was a little more urgent.
Indeed.
So now Frank's lock is just slower, right? He's got Death Denied, Soulless Revival, but he doesn't.
What is he
doesn't get
recursing?
But he doesn't get to drop a guy right into play every time.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He
Goryo's
wants to
Vengeance, I guess he can, he has to summon each monster now instead of just having to come out automatically.
And Leon
And die automatically, which
Right.
is good with the dragons.
Right, and Leong's got the Moloku covered because he's Arashi Sky Sunder in his hand.
True. Oh, that cranial extraction shuffled away Frank's top too, right?
Yes, it did.
He had flipped the top onto his library, so top gone, shuffled in. That's yet another reason. It was perfect timing for that extraction for Ding.
Soul Survival back to my hand.
Uses Hanakami to get Solar Survival back in his hand. Now he can Death Denied Splicing Solar Survival. Oh, Sensei's divining top off the top.
Is that what he drew right over
Frank
the top?
just drew another top. That's got to be. I don't know what he would rather draw there. That's awesome. What do you play this turn? If you're Frank
That's what
Carson.
I was just trying to figure out.
Moloku? Looks
Yeah.
like Moloku. The Clouded Mirror of Victory.
Except that
Oh, make a token.
I just had to get a Florazism thrown into the coverage.
Play.
what's that?
I had to get a Florazism thrown into the coverage. That's what he announces every time Moloku is even being discussed.
Well, this is not the Moloku of victory here. I mean, the
I agree.
Iraqi Thunder is just going to wipe out all that hard work.
Okay, let no one suggest that Mike's always right.
No, I think Michael suggested it a couple of times.
Ding redraws the top. Remember last turn he used it to go get that cranial extraction. He puts it back into play. Now he's going to dig and see what card is 3 down. Is it something worth flipping for?
Looks like a top and 2 lands.
I think that's right. So what's his play? Say go, leave up Arashi?
Yeah, I think you say go and you see if Frank is going to go in a little deeper on
Right.
the Moloku at the end of the turn.
Oh, he runs out Kega. It's a little surprising to me. I guess it's going to survive Arashi for 4. It can block for a turn. You give Karsten the opportunity to go further in on Moloku. And this way, when he resolves Arashi, he's got a flyer ready to attack.
Right.
Next turn.
I'm not sure which play's better. This one certainly seems reasonable.
Answer your gift shop, please.
Yeah, you talk about the adrenaline that's coursing through your veins. Look at Frank Karsten's cheeks. I mean, they're beet red. And he gets this thing around his eyes where you can tell when he's in a long, drawn-out match, it's just like, it's like his brain is just pumping so much blood through his head while he tries to figure out what these right plays are.
And the gifts and given decks are amazingly difficult to play, even when you're just play testing with your friends.
Mhm.
Playing in Game 5 on an international stage with thousands of dollars on the line.
You have to play at an appropriate
Yeah.
pace.
Oh. Yeah.
Contents of your graveyard haven't changed. Okay. The last 4 times
Frank is being asked to play a little faster by
you want to at a pace, we'll talk about it.
head judge Sheldon Menery. Said the contents of your graveyard.
Yeah, well,
have not
Karsten
changed.
paused to look through his graveyard. It's like, you've done that several times already. Should know what's there.
Cranial extraction you. Splicing Soul Survival on accounting.
He does get the cranial extraction lock going here.
That's what he found with his top. I thought I saw a splash of black.
Yeah, that's nice.
What's the extraction? But did he extract Arashis? What did he extract? Brendan, what did he extract? Oh, Kaigas. It would have been a ridiculous call if he nailed the Arashis.
Yeah.
Okay.
A second Kaiga would.
Oh, he's worried about second Kaiga. That was the play that he put Ding Liang on. Thought second Kaiga was coming.
Right, steal your Moloku, steal your token.
Is there even a second Kaiga in Ding's deck? No, apparently not. How many Kaigas does he run?
He runs 3 in his main deck.
But he sideboarded out 2 of them, evidently.
Oh, he brought in a lot of cards. He brought in the 2 Arashis, he brought in the 3 cranial extractions, and he brought in those 3 naturalizes that have done nothing. So I mean, for those 8 cards, he had to bring in, take out something. And
Apparently he took out Kaiga.
he took out 4 Jittes and he took out 2 Kaigas.
So Karsten got the dead naturalizes around, but his own cranial extraction did nothing there. It just whiffed. In fact, it shuffled a divining top for Ding Liang. That was not a great turn for Frank Karsten.
No.
Complete whiff with extraction, shuffles on his opponent's top, and realizes that the play that he thought his opponent was on, he was just wrong. He just misunderstood what his opponent was trying to do. And now he also sees the Arashi, of course. So he realizes, oh, pretty good play from Ding. I mean, a lot of people, I think, would have just gone for Arashi there. But, like, he made a play a less obvious play that turns out, like, it doesn't matter. The difference doesn't matter. It's just as effective, just a turn slower. And Karsten didn't see it.
Right.
Like, he made the play. Karsten didn't understand why Ding was doing what he was doing.
It seemed like an opening play setting up another Keiga.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did. It really did. That was a nice... I don't know if Ding thought that he could trick Karsten, but it's a nice play. It's definitely good when you can do things your opponent isn't expecting and sort of find less obvious ways to use your cards.
Karsten's not going to get bluffed out of 2 top 8s by Island Pacific Rim nations.
I don't think that was a bluff from Ding.
Points at his top as it goes away.
Yep.
This card Tribe Elder.
It's been a good game.
It's a really interesting game.
Absolutely. Who's advantaged now? Has Ding managed to catch up?
I think Ding is caught up. He's gonna deal with the Moloku
And start attacking with Kaiga.
And although Karsten still has,
yeah, he's got
he's
the
still,
Hanakami engine in place. It's just a lot slower without Agorio's Vengeance in the loop. And it doesn't take that many hits from Kaiga.
Without the Vengeance, he doesn't really have a way to sacrifice his dragons short of getting 2 into play.
Right, yeah, he took the greater goods out of his deck.
Goods. So, Karsten might actually be cold here.
Ding is almost out of gas, right? Well, he just flipped top on top. Maybe he's got another threat. So he attacks with Kaiga, then channels Arashi.
Yep.
That'll take out Moloku and the token. Kaiga is going to bash Frank in the head for 6, dropping Karsten to 8.
Yep.
Oh, for 5. I'm sorry, for 5. Dropping Karsten to 9.